Today's show is being presented with limited commercial interruption thanks to BSU Roofing and Construction.
Three months after we were married, we were newlyweds, we were having fun, we were traveling, going places, just really enjoying one another. And then he walks into the house and tells me one evening, we need to go take a test. I said, a test? What kind of test? He said, an HIV/AIDS test. I said, you're kidding me, right? And so made the appointment, went, took the test, had to wait 2 weeks back then. And lo and behold, 2 weeks after the test came back, the results were
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Dewayne Benton Show. Today I'm going to take you on a journey that I don't believe you'll ever forget. This young woman is a friend of mine, and she's written an amazing book. And the book talks about her life and what happened months after she got married to what she called the love of her life. Everything was good and amazing, and I believe that you're going to be inspired after you hear her story. Please welcome my guest, Cynthia Cheatham. How are you, Cynthia?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for doing this for me.
Oh, you're so welcome. My pleasure.
So you've been out talking about your life.
I have.
And before we get into it, how many years ago did your life change? When was this?
Well, I'm going to say about 28 years ago.
28 years?
It's been 28 years.
Wow, okay. This is an amazing story. I promise you, you will be blessed after you hear this story. I'm telling you, I see the anointing already moving in the room. So God, I thank you for your presence this morning, because we're trying to help people. We're trying to help you see life from a different angle. You know, a lot of times we don't understand somebody's plight until it actually knocks on the door.
Yes.
And today we're hoping that this one is one that won't knock on your door, but you'll learn from Cynthia today. So Cynthia, start out telling me how your world changed forever.
Well, as you were saying, 28 years ago, I met this incredible guy, fell in love, just started doing things that, you know, dating couples do.
Yeah.
And we got married. But 3 months after we got married, Dewayne,
3 months.
3 months, he walked into the house and he said to me, we need to go and take a test. And I said, a test? What kind of test? And he said, an HIV/AIDS test.
Stop right there. The first thing that comes into your mind when someone, I don't care if it's your husband, when someone says to you, we need to go and take a test, what's the first thing you think?
Something's not right here. Was there a secret you didn't tell me? Instantly, all these questions start coming in my mind, like, surely you didn't just say what you said.
Yeah.
And of course, he was correct. We needed to go and take a test. And when he said we, he meant me, because what I find out later, he'd already taken the test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you go and take the test. And how many years ago is this?
28 years ago.
28 years ago. Because I know now you can have the AIDS test done and you can get the results back like instantly.
Instantly. Yes.
But then, was it instantly?
No, it wasn't instant. It was during the time I took it, it was like almost 2 weeks or a little more. And as I stated, 2 weeks seemed like 2 years.
Yeah.
All the emotions that was going on in my mind while I was waiting on those test results. And I remember him being very evasive that entire period. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk a lot about it.
Yeah.
But I knew something was wrong. Mm-hmm. I knew when he brought that. I kind of felt something going on a couple of weeks prior to even bringing that to me. Mm-hmm. Something's not right here. You know how you start out your wedding day, your honeymoon, you know, a couple of weeks after, things seem to get back, you know, where you want to be. And I knew something wasn't quite right.
But, you know, when you think about being told that? I mean, I guess people are different how they respond, but was there like, what have you done? What did you do? Was there any that kind of a situational conversation?
It wasn't that conversation, but I had those questions in my mind because I was petrified.
Yeah.
You know, for you to walk in the house and tell me this, and I started thinking all kinds of things. And at that time, we just learned that Magic had the HIV virus
Right.
and a lot of things. You know, but I didn't give it that much thought until, like you said, it knocked on my door.
Yeah.
And so I got all these questions and everything going through my mind, and now I'm starting to be afraid and just all kinds of things.
Who'd you tell?
I didn't tell anyone at first.
You didn't?
I didn't tell.
So is it kind of like a suffer in silence thing?
Oh my goodness, it was definitely suffering in silence. Not my coworkers, because I was teaching at the time.
Yeah.
Not my best friend, not my sister.
Goodness.
Afterwards, and I found out the results and was trying to live life as normal as possible, I did tell one person, and I
Okay.
told my pastor.
Okay, so let's go back.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, you're waiting. You all go back to the doctor for the results?
No, I go back. He didn't go with me. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was another red flag, that you didn't go with me. You had something else to do. You were too busy to go with me.
This is a life-changing
I
event.
know, exactly.
Okay, so you go back.
I go back, and I remember the doctor coming in and just how I felt. Checking in, going in, and he says, "Well, Cynthia, you are HIV positive." He did not just say that to me. And I wanted to just cry sitting there,
Yeah.
but for some reason, Dewayne, I felt like I needed to be strong. I felt like I didn't need to
For
be
yourself?
For myself. I need to be crying. I need to, because I'm having a wonderful life. I'm living my best life. I'm 27 years old, and I'm teaching, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and just having a great time. And so I felt like I didn't need to cry. But by the time he walked out and said he'd be back, and the nurse came in, and the nurse says to me, "Miss Cynthia, no need to be stressing. I know what you're feeling right now. But I'll tell you this, you're going to be the recipient of some really good medicine, and you're going to be just fine."
How'd you feel? What were you thinking when she said
Yeah,
that?
when she said that, honestly, it did make me feel better. Because I'm thinking, she knows she's doing this, so surely.
But Cynthia, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here, but I have to ask you, even though she says you're about to be the recipient of this wonderful medications, you've just been told you are HIV positive.
I know.
I mean, are you really?
Well,
I don't know.
I really
lost.
don't know at that point. I really don't know how to respond.
Okay.
Because there's fear, there's doubt, there's zillions of questions.
But the idea that, and we're talking these many years ago, the stigma that surrounded HIV and AIDS, you know, the fear of the being looked upon and being judged
All of
and
that.
people being afraid. Did you think of that?
Yes. I didn't at that point. I didn't, because
Yeah.
it's like I'm trying to just digest what you really said and what does all this mean, you know?
Yeah.
And so when she said that to me, there was a little comfort. But by the time I walked to my car in the parking lot in the garage, I reached over and I locked my door, and I let out a scream like never before.
Never.
And I said, "God,
Oh my God.
you're not gonna let me die, are you?" That's what I asked God. Matter of fact, I asked God that several times, especially when I got really sick, because what they did, they give me this regimen of all these drugs,
Yeah.
and I can't take all this stuff. I think by the time my first couple of months, I probably had about 20 medications, at least 15.
So did you go from 0 to
to about
no medications?
0 medications to, in the beginning, about 15. Because, you know, they're still trying
Figuring it out.
Yeah, trying to figure it out.
What works, what doesn't.
Right. And, like, you know, who I am. I'm an African-American woman. All the things that make up who I am. So everybody can't take the same meds, of course. And so they're trying all these things out. And I'm trying to remember when to take them. I got a lot going on. There were times in the beginning I forgot when to take the medicine. I said, oh my God, I should have taken it 2 hours ago.
Okay, so let's go back here because we're talking about what you're actually processing in the moment.
Yes.
Where's the husband?
I don't know where he is at that moment. But surely by the time I got home, I said, we need to talk. We need to talk. And so by the time I got home, still evasive. It was if you knew. It was if you knew what I was about to tell you.
Yeah.
And we still didn't talk a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
We didn't.
So my question is, what was the status at that point? You stay, go, I'm done?
Oh, wow.
Because that's a relationship breaker.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, for some people.
Yeah.
Was it for you?
It wasn't. And I'll tell you why. When you get married and you make a vow to be with someone for better or for worse, for richer or for poor,
yeah,
you should mean that. And deep within my soul, I meant it.
And I have to ask this, just because somebody may say this, but he deceived you, he lied to you, is what someone would say in your response to that would be?
But
for better, for worse?
For better, for worse, because my trust was in God first and then him. Okay? Because he couldn't, at that point, he couldn't help me. Only God could help me.
My God.
And so it was at that point I knew without a doubt I had to trust God. I had to lean. That was all I had. I didn't have him because I'm kind of feeling some kind of way now. All this that's going on. I got all these questions in my mind, and he's been really evasive. Like, you didn't do this to me. Okay, you didn't? Really? But now you're taking the meds prior to me. Seems like you knew before I did. And so I had to process all of that, but I was so busy teaching and living life and loving life that I didn't even stop to just, go into a whole lot of stressful issues about it. I just kept going.
You kept going.
I kept going.
With all this on your mind.
Without telling anybody.
Wow.
I kept going. And I probably wouldn't have told anybody had I not gotten sick later on. But, I think some things, should be between you and God.
Yeah.
And only you and God. And if you have somebody that you know without a doubt that you can lean on and trust, like my pastor, it shouldn't be with the whole world. The whole world is not going to help you with your situation. And so I found comfort in God and knowing who God was and knowing who he was in my life. That's how I got through that phase. Yeah. But, Dewayne, I look back and I think back, I don't regret. What I regret about that is before I married him, we both should have went in details about one another's sexual lifestyle, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you go and you take a blood test, it tells everything about who you are.
Yeah. And they don't do that anymore.
They don't do it anymore. I don't know why. I do not know why. It would clear up a lot of stuff later on down the road for many couples, many married couples. I just don't know why. Because had we taken that test, I would have known. You would have known my status. I would have known your status. But we didn't do it, Yeah.
Hello, my name is Sherman Brown with BSU Roofing Construction. When the elements are hard at work, BSU Roofing Construction is working hard for you. We have a 31-point checklist to make sure that the job is done right. Quality in BSU is pretty much the same name. Give us a call at 901-672-7585. BSU Roofing Construction, our name is the same as quality.
Hey, cousin, thanks for calling me back. Uncle Brother died last night. He didn't have any insurance. And I'm calling family and friends to see if y'all can help me out.
How many times has this happened in your family? Call Memorial Gardens Insurance Services now to get the coverage you need. Immediate coverage on most plans, no medical exams, and payments as low as $15. Call 260-2647.
So you are taking the medication. You've been given the news. You are HIV positive. Your husband is HIV positive. You're trying all of these medications. You're trying to figure out a lot of side effects.
Yes, just a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I go back to the question, where's the relationship between you and the husband at this point?
Well, instantly I felt like there was something you weren't telling me. There was something you were hiding. And so we proceeded, but it was, for me, I proceeded with caution.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like going through the red light, going through the yellow light. You know, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
You need to watch. You need to look both ways. And so I did.
What do you say to people who say, why didn't you leave? I mean, you've been through this traumatic situation. Why stay?
You know, I think about that sometimes, and I think really I didn't leave because my vows.
Did he still appear loving to you?
Yeah. But I could tell that he may have been just a little apprehensive per se, because I think, thinking back now, he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he knew.
So let's move forward. You guys both know the situation. What happens? Any sickness? What happens at this point?
Yeah, for me, because it was like tolerating these meds. And I think for him too. But for me, definitely, I was trying to tolerate that, and it wasn't good in the beginning. But hey, I stuck with it because that's what the doctors are telling me, and I can't tell anybody. So I just got to do what they say do.
When do you tell somebody other than your pastor?
When did I tell? When I got really sick. And that was years later with my second husband. I didn't tell with my first spouse.
Okay.
I didn't tell.
So the first spouse divorced?
And it was like maybe, it wasn't long after he passed away. But even with his passing, Dewayne, I still stood by him. Even though I had left, he was sick in the hospital, and where I live, it wasn't far from the hospital. I would literally pack my backpack, walk to the hospital, and go and, see about him. Yeah. But he eventually died. Yeah, he died.
What was the response of your family when they found out? I mean, because I'm sure did you tell them how it happened? What happened? The spouses, both spouses are infected?
I didn't tell them until my second husband. Really?
I mean, I'm just asking because I don't think it's like impossible, but how do you, with all of this that you have to contain?
Well, they knew we had separated. They knew, we were, no longer together.
Yeah.
But it's like, so I didn't even attend the funeral. It was mixed emotions about that.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I don't know what you said. I really think, the reason I think he knew, I think that he told people that I was the one who infected him. And that can't be possible because here I am now, married again.
Yes.
Had a baby. She's not infected. So,
wow.
Surely y'all are thinking now that maybe she was right.
Cynthia, you remarried.
I did.
You all had a baby.
And I wasn't trying, but hey, that's what God had for me. That is my plan. That was the plan for my life. But yeah, I did. I met my daughter's father, and instantly I told him, I said, look, we started having fun together, started going places, doing things. And so one night I looked like he was really liking me, And so I said, I might want to tell him. And so I did.
Were you afraid of what he would say?
I kind of was, but at this point, I've got a little boldness now in my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's either now or never. And I wouldn't dare do you the way it was done to me.
Yeah.
And I told him. And he looked at me. I'll never forget it. He looked at me. He said, by now, girl, you know I love you, and I'm going to marry you. And my mind go, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And sure enough.
You all married?
We got married, and 2 years into the relationship, no, actually, I got pregnant like 3.5 years. Yeah.
After y'all married?
After we married. And
were you shocked?
Totally. Totally. I wasn't.
Were you shocked and were you fearful?
I really didn't get afraid until maybe the last couple of months of my pregnancy.
Yeah.
Because he was so comforting. He was there, you know, going to the Lamaze classes, cooking. He was a bona fide chef, so he would, if I could think of anything I wanted to eat, he would cook it for me. My slippers were at the floor when I got out of my bed. I was still teaching.
Yeah.
And so he was great, a wonderful father. And I know God knew that's what I needed.
Yeah.
Somebody very attentive. But unfortunately, he had diabetes and he had sarcoidosis. And so, you know, one thing led to another. And he died also, Dewayne.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. 14 and a half months after the birth of our daughter.
So she's still an arm baby, as they
She's
say.
14 and a half months old, and oh my goodness, at 37 years old, I'm thinking, how am I going to manage a baby?
Goodness.
And the death of my husband, actually two husbands. How am I going to do all this?
Were there ever moments when you said, God, what is this? Were there? Because you think about, these are very traumatic situations that have happened in your life.
Yeah.
Did you ever say, God, what is this?
I said to God, I know you got me, God. There's no way I'm going to have to deal with all of this and you not already have a plan for me and that you got me. And I thought about my mother and all the struggles she had, and I said, I'm just as strong as she is. God, I feel like I'm stronger than her.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for you. I don't have anybody else. I can't talk to everybody. So God, I'm going to put all my trust, all of my everything into you.
Yeah.
And that's how I got through that.
Now, from just our conversation today, you've really made it clear to me, and I'm sure the audience, that in the beginning, you believed God, even though it was a bad situation.
Oh, yeah.
You knew He was there. And I say that because so many times have we automatically go into the questioning and why God and what have I done and all of that. But you sounded to me like you were just saying, God, whatever this is, I know if anybody can do it, you can.
Yes, because keep in mind, the Bible says, put not your confidence and your trust in man.
Yes.
And so I know I had to do everything in that word I had read. It had to come to life. I had not only read it, but I had to live it and breathe it.
Yes.
And so I knew I had to depend on God. I couldn't talk to everybody, so I had to go to bed at night with my daughter over there in her bassinet and talk to God. Say, okay, God, here I am now.
Yeah.
I'm trusting you. I'm believing you because he's gone now. And so many questions, but I had to stay focused on who I was and who God was in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you moved down. This point, you told your family.
I told my family. I didn't tell them until I got really sick.
Yes.
And when I got really sick, like a couple of years after he passed away, the nurse walked in. She said, have you shared with your family? Because, you know, they can't share your information. I said, no, I haven't. And she came and sat beside my bed. I wish I knew where she was. But she said to me, you need to talk. For the sake of your daughter, you need to tell your family. And so I didn't just say it to them, you know. But somehow or another it came up. I just didn't sit down. When I did sit down, I got all of my nieces and nephews, all of my nieces together and their little friends, brought them to my house, sat down, and we all talked about it. And I said, I know this is what you've heard, and this is what I don't want you to do. You know, because nobody didn't sit down and tell me that. I should have been taking a test before I said I do. Anyone that considers that, at least you will know one another's medical history.
And even though it's not required by law anymore, do you still recommend people do it anyway?
By all means.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I tell my daughter. Years from now, you're going to want to marry a gentleman. And this is what you need to do. You know, she's 17 now, but I tell her that now, you know, and all of the young ladies that I get an opportunity. And I really like going in. My passion, Dewayne, what I really love doing besides writing is teaching. And so when I can get in and I can do a workshop or I can do a seminar, or I can talk to young people, not just young people, married people, wanting to be married people.
Because you were in your 20s.
Yes, I was 27 years old when this happened to me. So that's what I really want to get back into doing, you know. These last 17 years I've been trying to focus on raising my daughter. And, you know.
So no, Raven, of course, is HIV negative?
Yes. I had to take her. That's the part I really want to share. I had to have her tested as soon as she was born, time after time and time after again. And every time I had to have her stuck. I mean, she's only like a month old.
Yeah.
And it was devastating to watch them, draw the blood in my daughter. But every single time, the results came back negative.
Today's show is being presented with limited commercial interruption thanks to BSU Roofing and Construction.
Welcome back, everybody. So we all been privileged to a conversation with our friend Cynthia. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, my pleasure.
I want to ask you to do one thing for me. That's just your camera here.
Okay.
You've said some powerful things. What would you say to a woman who says, that's my story right now about the HIV? What do you want to say to her? Because she's afraid, she's scared. They talked about it back in the day as being a death sentence, and she's like being contaminated, and nobody wanted to be near you. What do you say to a woman or a man who may have just heard those words? What do you say?
Well, I say you have to do exactly, for the most part, what the doctors say, but more so, get a relationship with God. That's what you need, because that's what helped me get to exactly where I am now. You have to have a relationship, and you don't have to tell anybody. But tell God about it. Because if you tell God about it, He's not going to tell anybody. Once you do that, I promise you, you're going to be strengthened, you're going to be encouraged. In no time, you're going to be doing exactly what I'm doing, and that's sharing your story.
So I want to say to you how proud I am to call you my friend.
Thank you.
I thank you for raising my beautiful, I guess my niece, my beautiful modeling niece. Yes, she's a model, her daughter.
Yes.
She's a model. And I'm just praying that she makes it wherever she wants to go and do. I always try to say I wish she'd go to New York and become a professional. But I don't know. We'll see what the future holds.
Yeah.
And you continue to stand behind her and you just push. You are passionate about her senior year.
Oh yes, I think I'm more excited than not because I want to push my daughter out, but because I know as a senior they have so many opportunities to do so much.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure she's just having fun and enjoying it. And trust me, she is already.
Yeah.
She is. Yeah.
You're ministering. What's next for you? You talked about another book, but you continue to travel and you continue to speak and share this amazing story.
Yes. I want to do it more. Because I know there are more people that need to hear and just need help. Sometimes I do workshops and somebody will tell me, I didn't tell nobody. And they just want a hug. I said, you don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to tell my story. I already know. I already picked it up in the spirit.
Yeah.
But I would love to go. I would love to even go out of the country just to share my story and give people hope.
Yeah.
That's why I entitled my book Hope in the Valley.
Yes.
Because every one of us have had a valley experience or may be in a valley experience. And so having said that, my book gives people hope because I share my innermost thoughts.
Get the book. It'll change your life. It'll change your world. Get in contact with this lady. Maybe she can share something with one of your groups or something. I'm sure she's open to the idea of spreading this great message. Cynthia, I love you so much.
I love you too, and thank you for this opportunity.
My pleasure. You blessed my life. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next Dewayne Benton Show. What a joy.
Hello, my name is Sherman Brown with BSU Roofing Construction. When the elements are hard at work, BSU Roofing Construction is working hard for you. We have a 31-point checklist to make sure that the job is done right. Quality in BSU is pretty much the same name. Give us a call at 901-672-7585. BSU Roofing Construction, our name is the same as quality.
Hey, cousin, thanks for calling me back. Uncle brother died last night. He didn't have any insurance. And I'm calling family and friends to see if y'all can help me out.
How many times has this happened in your family? Call Memorial Gardens Insurance Services now to get the coverage you need. Immediate coverage on most plans, no medical exams, and payments as low as $15. Call 260-2647.